Most people don't like waiting. We've got drive-throughs because we don't want to go into the restaurant. We want our computers to load web pages super quickly or else we buy another one. When we go to the doctor's office and have to sit in the waiting room, that's a terrible thing for most people, right? We like to get things now. We like to get things when we want them. We like to get it over with. We usually do not like waiting very much. Unfortunately, when it comes to spiritual things or just life in general, waiting is a big part of it. Some of our biggest dissatisfaction with life comes from the fact that we're waiting for answers we don't have yet, or waiting for things to change, or waiting for things to get better, or waiting for someone to show up, or waiting for something that'll make us happier. Interestingly, as you read scripture, God doesn't seem very interested in our desire to have things right away. In fact, it's his pattern to make people wait. But there's good reason for that. And when we understand that good reason, then maybe we understand our waiting in a better way, and it becomes a growing thing rather than just an inconvenience. This week we're going to look at John chapter 11. A story about two sisters who are waiting for Jesus to show up. And he doesn't. But from their experience, we will learn three things that will really, really help us. The sermon is called, "The Waiting is the Hardest Part." In our Bible study, we are in 2 Samuel still, and when Saul took over the throne in 1 Samuel, he came storming in with a big parade, and he was going to make a big show of things, and I entitled that chapter, King Me. When David becomes anointed as the next king, we also named that King Me Part 2, because he was going to become the next king. But in 2 Samuel 5, 6, and 7, David actually becomes the second king of Israel's people. Of God's people, Israel. He actually becomes the king, but he does it in a very different way than what Saul did. If Saul came in with a spotlight on himself, David does something completely different, much more noble, much more honorable, and much better. So we will learn a bunch of lessons from David this week from 2 Samuel chapter 5 and chapter 6. We're also going to look at chapter 7, but I don't think we'll get that far, but you can read that far if you want to read ahead. These chapters we're calling Don't King Me, because David does things in the opposite way of Saul. We will learn some lessons about humility and honoring God as we read through there. So go ahead and read ahead, 2 Samuel 5, 6, and 7. I'll remind you that this Sunday is our congregational annual general meeting. This is a time for us to do some legalities. We have to report what was spent last year. We have to present a budget for the coming year and vote on that. So all those legal things have to be done so that we can still be a charity and make the government happy. One of the other things we often do on our annual general meeting Sunday is use that time to look back over what happened in the last year. And so I'm hoping to have a few minutes left at the end of today to gather a list of things that happened. I think it's good for us to review and good for us to think about where we've been and what's gone on and the good things that happened and the things we went through together that weren't so good. And I think it's just good to review. And so we're going to probably use a little bit of time after lunch this week to do that, and then we'll present our budget and do the legality part. So if you can hang around for that, that'd be great. Maybe we can remember some good things together. I mentioned lunch. Again, of course, we're still doing lunch until the springtime. So as we always say, bring something simple: soup, sandwiches, desserts, chips, whatever, cookies. And then also please bring enough for your family and one more family, so if we have visitors, they can stay and enjoy that with us. Well, we sat here till quite late last week, and it was really nice. So if you're able to do that, please participate. That's really, really a good chance to catch up and get to know one another and all those sorts of good things. Some really practical lessons on some things we need to know and some things that'll help us grow. This Sunday, we'll see you there.